Sure, my name is David or Dave Wallace. I reached the final rank of lieutenant in the United States Navy Reserve active duty. The Skagit was an AKA. It was one of the amphibs. Or as we called them, as they renamed them while I was there, LKA. But named after the Skagit River up in Washington State. I had just flown across country after OCS. It was right after Thanksgiving, I think. And because I'd had Thanksgiving meal with my parents in Pittsburgh, and then I jumped on a plane to go to LA, then down to San Diego. So I arrived, and I knew some guys that were out there, so I went and saw them first, because it was, you know, it was still afternoon of Thanksgiving. Had orders to a school, but I talked to these guys. One of them was a fraternity brother, still a good friend, and said, I have orders to this school, should I go there first? And Warren said, no, don't. He says, go to the ship first and say hello, make your calls, you know, pass out cards, whatever you got to do. So that Sunday afternoon, I remember I went down and duty section was on, and the XO happened to have come by. So I got to meet a lot of guys in the duty section and stuff like that, and then I went off for a couple weeks school that Monday. So I didn't really get onto the ship for several weeks. When I did, one of the greatest things that ever happened, and I've got a lot of those, you probably noticed, but the captain calls me in to have the meet and greet, and so we're talking. He says, you know, we've had good luck with most of our young officers, but he said we've had bad luck in their first 6 months. And he said, so we're going to try something new. And he grabs the phone, makes a call. Chips, get your butt up here. And I'm going, Chips? What is this? And in walks this guy who was ancient. I mean, he probably in his 40s. Big wad of tobacco. Yes, sir. And Wallace, this is Chips. He's our W4 carpenter. Chips knows everything about the Navy. Well, Chips would admit to 33 years active duty at that time. And I know he didn't retire until several years later. But Chips took me under his wing for almost 2 full months. And the captain had just said, you don't get turned loose on this crew until Chips says you're ready. So here I am following this guy around for 2 months. He taught me more than an MBA did. I mean, probably more than a PhD did. About you can order people to do things, but what you want is for them to do it before you order them and stuff. I mean, a lot of it sounded like textbook stuff, but he did it. And he taught me a little of that. And just a neat guy. I got to talk to his son probably 6 or 7 years ago, and it was through an old website that he had tracked me down, and he said, I understand you knew my dad. And I thought, holy crap, this is, you know. So we had a great conversation. Sadly, he didn't know his dad that well at all, because his dad was always at sea. But so that was a terrific time. I talked to the XO and the CO and said, I really want to get qualified because I really want to be on swift boats and be a hero. And they thought I was nuts, but they farmed me out to some other ships. I eventually got my fleet quals and things like that. And after about a year, I went to swift boat training.